For reasons unknown right now, I made the decision to go down the dark and mysterious and horrifying path of listening to Jodi Hildenbrandt's podcast on her website. And we're going to talk about one of them in today's video. Yo, I want to hold on to as much of my hair as I can for as long as possible. And MD Hair has been helping me do that. So getting ready in the mornings, doing my hair, all that kind of stuff, it was like overnight that I was like, hold on, y'all. Where'd this little skin piece come from up here? That's one of the reasons why I was so excited to partner up with MD Hair. So who is MD Hair? MD Hair is the world's first medical grade hair growth treatment customized to the exact cause and type of hair loss. Their website uses a quiz, which I love, and a scalp picture analysis to customize each kit. Look, they're backed by science. There's 24/7 dermatologist support. And well, on top of that, it's clean and sustainable. So probably one of my favorite parts about the process is their website. You go on there, you do a little quiz. It's very easy. You put a picture up of like your scalp, it analyzes it. And this is where I was like, oh, whoa, mama, oh, we need some treatment. Now this in turn allows them to do a customized treatment kit with the right ingredients according to your own personal needs. Now, literally, this part was like a shocker for me to see it and be like, wow, this is real. This is happening. You're not getting any younger, Paul. Let's fix the scalp. So what they're going to do is send you everything that you need in your own customized kit with all the products. You're going to get your customized hair care shampoo, conditioner, your hair care serum, my personal favorite, and the wellness supplements. It's like you're combating the issue from the inside out. So the process is very easy. And what I do is I start with a shampoo conditioner in the shower. And one of my side things that I like about this is the fact that you put it in your hair, you let it sit for a minute. Now this gives me a chance to sing and, do my own little personal concert. But then after that is once I'm out of the shower, I use the serum. I am in love with this serum, y'all. It feels very refreshing on my scalp. It feels like it's doing something. It feels tingly. It feels like magic. And the supplements are easy to take and the taste is good. So I've worked with MD Hair a couple of times now because I've enjoyed their stuff so much and working with them as a company. I have definitely noticed my hair feels thicker. It feels more manageable. And like I said about the serum and whatnot, it feels like it's invigorating my scalp. It feels like it's doing something. And I've gotten in a very specific routine that I look forward to every morning when I take my shower. So go ahead and customize your hair growth treatment with MD Hair. Use my promo code at SOFA70 to get your first month of customized products at 70% off. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Sofa's back there pretending to be a sofa. Roscoe's up here holding down the fort for us, and my name is Paul. If you're new here, I do welcome you to the sofa. Now, as you heard in my little intro and as you saw in my little thumbnail, we're going to be discussing one of the podcasts from Jodi Hildenbrandt's website. Now, if you're not familiar with Jodi Hildenbrandt, well, consider yourself lucky. Okay. Jodi Hildenbrandt ran connections. She was very much tied in with Ruby Franke from 8 Passengers. They both are currently incarcerated on some pretty bad charges against children. Now, her website connections is like family counseling and, make yourself better and whatever. So we actually, in one of our members' chats, I was like, let's go listen to some of these podcasts. And our mouths were on the floor, okay? I can't believe they still have them up. So, Lord, I'm sorry, Roscoe. What we're going to do is we're going to listen to one of them. And what I want you to do when you're listening to it, and I'll put some samples of other interviews and whatnot that we heard, because you can literally hear her going into her routine as to how she victimizes people and children, obviously. So, that being said, what we'll do is we'll put some pieces up. I use them as commentary. And that's it. Now, don't forget, you can see it on the screen here. If you want to follow me on the old gram, on the old Insta, as the kids seem to call it, go on and give me a follow over there. It's boring, but Roscoe's there at least, so he livens things up. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, the podcast we're specifically listening to today is called Protecting Children from the Dangers of Technology. Clearly, one reason why I wanted to listen to this is the absolute irony and hypocrisy of her trying to do anything about protecting children when she has children escaping from her home in duct tape. But I digress. Now, the way this is structured is she's acting like, And when I say acting, because I don't know if it's true, but this one probably is, but she could make these up. But all the podcasts seem to be like she's answering a question that somebody wrote in, and she's responding to it with this lesson. So you have the backstory of how this is set up. Let's listen to some of it.
Technology is a reality in today's world. It provides an amazing opportunity for us to use our agency and live in truth as we govern technology.
Okay, very quickly, y'all, that was so full of 10-cent words and all these like toxic positivity, MLM type words, govern agency, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm already exhausted and it's the first clip. But again, just keep that in mind. Also, listen to the tone of voice and how it changes throughout. That was like very chipper and very, I have a solution. I'm an expert. And for $9.99 a month, you can have all the wonderful life you want. Let's move on to the next clip.
And if each of us doesn't know how to manage ourselves in truth, the technology will be misused and people will go into distortion.
Now again, I had to put that up there because of this word distortion, y'all. If I hear, it's just like Sarah Boone with unintentional, not intentional. Literally, if I hear the word distortion one more time, I'm like, what is it with these types? Like her, Lori Daybell, that come up with these like zombie distortion, dark, this crazy stuff, right? It's like, what is in the water, okay? Now, one thing you've heard with all of these 10-cent words, manage, distortion, all this stuff we just went over. Doesn't this sound familiar? Okay, let's listen to a clip very quickly.
Chad showed that he was not able to manage himself sharing a bedroom with Russell.
Okay, so you see the tie-in, right? Now, this is no secret. This is nothing major here, right? She clearly was working very side by side. They had all these videos together, all these podcasts, all that. So it ain't like I'm cracking the case, right? But when I was listening to Jodi say this, and I was like, whoa, you can really start to make the connection of the things we're seeing from Ruby, the things we're hearing from other people, and these teachings, or whatever you want to call them.
Come learn how to manage yourself, your children, and the technology.
Again, how many times have we said manage in the first 30 seconds of the podcast? Let's continue.
Hey, Jodi and Ruby. I'm a young mom of a little girl. I fear I may have messed up. My daughter got an iPad from her father and is obsessed. I wouldn't mind it, but it has caused some disrespect. She is only 5, but I found messages to her dad that I told her she could talk to. Parentheses, he's atheist and has a girlfriend with tattoos, parentheses. When I told her she couldn't talk with him, she cried and asked to go live with him. She's upsetting me because I can't get her off the iPad and to stop disobeying me. I'm tempted to let her go, but what's going on with his lack of religion and girlfriend? He also allows sugary drinks and processed foods. While I don't want her to talk to him, she does see him every other weekend due to court. Please help me try to live with these principles, but it's hard. Sincerely, a very tired mama.
Hearing her say mama just makes my skin crawl. Okay, couple of things here. Now, spoiler alert, I've already listened to this podcast numerous times, right? Like I said, we listened to it in the members chat and talked about it. Then I listened to it, going and picking the pieces out that I wanted to do. So a couple of things. Knowing what I know where the podcast goes in her tone of voice, listening to her read that and her tone of voice, which immediately went from that shiny, happy people thing to this condescending thing that's like this rage beneath the surface. Wait till you see what she starts to do, because it makes this make more sense of oh, she's getting ready to rip this woman apart. Now, here's the thing. We can all have our opinion and thoughts on, this writer and caller and whatever you want to call them, of I'm keeping my child from the father because he's an atheist and his girlfriend has tattoos and he serves sugary drinks. I'm like, if only these could be my only issues in life, right? You know what I'm saying? But to each their own. So there's that. That's like a whole separate thing in here, right? But there's there's that. Let's go on to the next thing.
So, Mama, you have a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old. That's someone you can actually pick up and move around. Like, you absolutely can control her environment and need to control her environment and create an environment of truth for her.
Woo! Mama Jama. And I'm not trying to mimic her by saying mama. There's something about when she says mama, it literally cannot roll my eyes hard enough at it. I don't know why. That says way more about me than it does her, I think. Okay, when she's like, listen to the tone of voice. This is a 5-year-old that you can pick up and move around. She talks about the child like they're an inanimate object. And that tone of voice, you can hear how much she enjoys having power over things and people, right? And I think that was also present with Ruby as well. And now, side note, y'all, I forgot to say this in the beginning. If y'all are new here, y'all, these are literally just my hot takes from the sofa, okay? I ain't no doctor, I ain't no lawyer, ain't none of that fancy stuff, okay? So all this stuff I'm saying, it's not credentialed. It ain't fancy, okay? It's just from the sofa and, well, some of the things Roscoe tells me, okay? I'm not gonna lie. But I just want you to know that these are just my opinions, so, that's all it is, and I have no credentials to make, diagnoses and stuff like this. So, but listening to her talk about this, it's just like, this is somebody who seems to really get this power trip over these, like a small child, like one of the most vulnerable populations out there, right? And so, notice this where she almost is like immediately going in the transition. So the thing is about the child that the woman's writing in over. Notice this transition of her going in for the mother. It's beginning. Let's continue.
So when she shows up from Dad's house and she has her iPad, you let her know that the iPad is not a part of being at your house. Why? Because she doesn't manage it.
Again, the word manage. Now, here's my thing. We'll side with Jodi on this one right here. If you, whatever the case is, if it's rules in your home, the way you run your household, if it's split custody and you do certain things, absolutely. If it's like, hey, look, this is how it goes at my house when you're here. Now, again, if it's the whole thing of like you're keeping the child from the dad, there could be other things that we don't know about. That's a whole other thing. But I have no problem with a parent setting boundaries, right? This is normal. Now, we can get into the conversation about where do you think the kid's going to want to go if you can't use the iPad at your house? I mean, hello, right? This is a 5-year-old though, so that's kind of like whatever. To me, I'm also where I'm like, 5-year-olds use iPads? You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just me. I didn't grow up with one. But again, the word manage, she doesn't manage it. She doesn't do this. It's a 5-year-old. Okay, of course she doesn't manage the iPad. She's 5, right? It's borderline being something that needs to be on complete lockdown unless parents in there with them. But again, I don't know how that works with kids and technology like that. Y'all let me know in the comments. Let's keep going.
And then you talk to her about why she's sad, and you help her understand, and you spend time with her. And as you do that repeatedly, she's going to, 1, forget that there even is an iPad, and 2, you'll be able to better understand what really is going on, because the iPad is a distraction.
Okay, get ready. She's getting ready to go in on her. The iPad is a distraction, which yes, it is. But listen to this turn of events. Keep this in your mind. Keep all these things in your mind that we've listened to and whatnot. And I'm going to show a clip here in a couple of minutes. I'm going to get a little deeper into it. But again, just have this in the back of your little burner here. Let's keep going.
It's a distraction from all the upset that she feels. How do I know she feels upset? Because she's throwing a fit, like you said. And the iPad just distracts her from the upset that she feels. And so when you take the iPad away, then you get the fit. So she needs help processing why she's upset.
The way she says fit and upset absolutely runs all over me. There's some kind of arrogance with it. Like she just, like this smarmy, I know everything and you're an idiot for not knowing it. I know why she's throwing a fit. And it could just be me. Y'all could be like, Paul, you're broken. It's clearly a projection on your part, Paul. We don't see this, and it's fine. I get it. I will take the L on that, y'all. It could be more about me, but I just get this really icky vibe off of it. Let's continue.
Now, when I hear you say, she's upsetting me, I'm a little concerned about that, because you're the adult.
Okay. 100% we are making the turn into, number one, we're going to try and sell this person classes. Number two, you're the problem. You're broken. Something's not right with you. So you heard that you're the adult. She's making you upset. Now remember, this to me is like a little Dear Abby type thing, right? If you know what I'm talking about, then you know that she's using obviously the thing to, a projection board, a platform, whatever, to sell her classes, stuff like that. But think about all these victims coming forward, right? So notice this transition that she's about to make into you're the problem. Let's keep going.
A 5-year-old is not supposed to upset an adult. So what in the world's going on with you, Mom, that you're getting upset about your 5-year-old being upset? I don't know. You didn't say anything about that. You just said she's upsetting me.
Okay, what is wrong with you that you're getting upset that a 5-year-old is upsetting you? Never mind that Jodi has children jumping out of her house with duct tape on them and whatnot. That people are literally coming forward like this is like a horrible human being that's destroyed lives and all that. Again, the projection on her part onto like these scenarios right here. Now this is the time where I want to do a flashback to an interview of a dude who was in her classes. I'm not talking about Adam, although I might have a clip of him on here too. But I want to go ahead and play this one from this gentleman right here, just so that we can be refreshed into what he's saying, because it's almost like with this podcast, you can put two and two together and see how she did this to people. You can see it in action.
According to former client Trey Warner, he joined a support group at the recommendation of a friend trying to improve his marriage. But after a while, he says he grew more suspicious of what Jodi Hildenbrandt was teaching.
It started to feel more and more evil. And I finally, in one of the group meetings, I got up and I just said, this is off.
Warner claims Hildenbrandt would use shaming tactics to turn husbands and wives against each other, adding that she would convince men that their impure thoughts made them dangerous to their families. He says he saw one case during a group session.
There was a man that had successful business that believed that he was a danger to his wife and his family because he did a double take. As a woman, like if he saw a beautiful woman, he would see and he'd look again. This guy got his own apartment and separated from his family because he was a danger.
Okay. So you heard this like, she had people thinking they were the danger. Remember Jesse said the same thing during their interview where they were like, I thought that I was a danger, to be around other people and so on and so forth. So go now rewind back to Jodi's thing here of talking about, well, what's the matter with you that you're letting a 5-year-old upset you? What's the matter with you? To me, this is a completely normal thing for anyone to be like, oh my God, the kids were like so crazy today. It was just like getting on my nerves, upsetting me, whatever, right? That's like a normal thing, especially in this context. But Jodi is making it this huge thing, but also what she's using it, in my opinion, is just weaponizing it against the person for what? Probably money, power, the chance to shame somebody. Who knows?
So that sounds like you're really selfish. She's upsetting me, like she's doing this to me. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's acting like a child. You're the one that chose to bring a child into the world, and now you're allowing her to upset you?
Okay, you see what I mean? You're being selfish. She's acting like a child. And now you're doing this. You chose to bring a child into the world. You see how we're a paycheck away from it. You're dangerous. You are completely mental. You need to separate yourself from the family and get yourself together. Imagine being in a group setting and someone singling you out like this, that in your world, like what they say goes, like, you have to kind of put yourself there. And letting them get in your head like that and shaming you in front of others and whatnot, it's powerful, right? The gentleman who we just heard from, who was like, I had to stop the whole thing and be like, this isn't right. That doesn't seem to be the norm. The norm seems to be people just went along with it detrimentally.
That's about you, not about her. So I would invite you to figure out why you are so upset, not that she's upsetting you. Because now you want to blame her. Maybe it's not good for her to be with you if you're going to be upset at her.
There you go. Maybe it's not good for her to be with you. You see how all these dudes talking about, like that one guy, oh, he got a different apartment because he was doing a double take at a good-looking woman. And Kevin, who moved out, that's a whole other issue there, but, nonetheless, he moved out. Oh, you need to be away from the kids and all this kind of stuff. You see, she's doing it right here in a pretend scenario. Like, it's like kind of like a sales pitch. She's like sitting here, that's about you. Maybe she doesn't need to be around you because of this. And notice how, remember I talked about her her tone of voice. Look at how arrogant and cocky she sounds now, right? It's gotten worse and worse and more turned up as we keep going.
So I'm inviting you to figure out what's going on with me, that this child who is upset by something, maybe that's why she's upset. Maybe she feels that you don't love her, or maybe she feels not wanted in your home. I don't know why she's upset.
Look at how she just dug that in. That little seedling of maybe she doesn't think you love her. Maybe she thinks you're upset with her. I mean, I don't know why she's upset. Jodi knows exactly what she's doing. And people will say, well, it's like she's way, more cunning, more, sophisticated. Oh, yeah, she's very good at this. She knows how to get in and sow the seeds of doubt within.
It seems really reasonable that a child would be upset just by the nature of her parents not being together. I don't know.
Whoa. Okay. I mean, you notice that the shaming tactics, the guy that just said that this is what she did. Now, but she would have you move out of your home, right? And she probably then use the same thing to keep people in, distortion. Dare I say it? Of being like, imagine when she gets the guy to move out and it's like just the woman and the child at home. Well, that then she's still doing this type stuff to the woman. Like, well, yeah, I mean, I imagine your kids are upset. I mean, you're separated. You know what I mean? Like, you're a terrible human being for having to do this, for marrying this broken man who does double takes at women. I mean, my God. Frightening is the word that comes to my mind.
I don't know, is he an ex or is he just a boyfriend? You sound concerned about the girl's father. You seem more concerned about the sugary drinks and the processed food that they're feeding the child rather than the child's emotional and spiritual needs.
Again, shaming this woman, I mean, reading her for filth, right? In like a Jodi kind of way or whatever. You're more concerned about the sugary drinks and the processed food than her spiritual growth and, and this and that. And I don't know if you're married to him. I don't know if it's just some random stud you met out at the bar late one night and got knocked up out of a wedlock. I mean, it could be. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, I mean, she keeps going to these scenarios. But to me, they're shame-based scenarios, right? Where she just throws these little inklings out there and you're like, girl, I mean, again, imagine being even in a Zoom call and someone talking to you that way, making you feel like this high to a grasshopper, right? In front of these people with stuff like this, maybe your kid doesn't love you. Who is this again? Some trick you picked up at the bar? That's the dad? Oh, okay. I mean, imagine letting her talk to you that way. Honey, I'd come up over the computer. I mean, it would fly all over me.
And more important than her body is her emotions and her spirituality. Those need to be nurtured just as much as her physical body. And it sounds like you're not paying attention to that.
Again, the neglect, you're not paying attention. You're lacking. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. You see how she breaks these people down? But then there's always an ask involved. And we'll get to that momentarily.
So I would invite you to get into the Empowering Joy class and let us help you. Let us help you understand why you're upset, why you feel confused and angry, so that doesn't get projected onto your baby.
I have to gather myself. I told you, she goes in for the ask. She's going to sign up for this ridiculous class, right? And we don't want you to project that onto the baby. The first time she has said the word baby. Before this, it's the child. Like it's Roscoe, right? I talk about Roscoe. Imagine me being like the dog. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sofa. My name's Paul. That's the dog. I mean, it's just like, I'm more affectionate talking about Roscoe. But here, where we're trying to get in for the emotions to, close the deal, get the money, you don't want to project that onto the baby. I mean, you're a horrible person already, right? You don't want to keep being more horrible. Can I have your credit card? You know what I'm saying? It just, my God, let's keep going.
She needs a mom that's joyful. She needs a mom that's relaxed. She needs a mom that's boundaried. She needs a mom that understands principles of truth and is willing to live them, that knows how to be honest, that knows how to be responsible, and knows how to reflect that to her at 5, and do it in a way that's not resentful, and do it in a way that's not threatening.
I mean, she's just rolled off that threatening and resentful. She needs a mom that's A, B, and C. She just wrote into a little Dear Abby thing talking about how do I get my kid to quit using the iPad. We've gone to, I mean, we got to sign up for classes. You're a terrible parent. But again, you see the trajectory. You see how this is literally snowballed, right? Now, let's finish this off and go to Adam's interview and kind of round this out and then do some overall thoughts on it. Please hold.
Adam Steed said he went to counseling sessions with Jodi Hildenbrandt for 6 months, and then he stopped. He described a rigidity in Hildenbrandt's counseling style. For example, Steed claims Hildenbrandt became upset if men looked at something like the swimsuit issue of Sports Illustrated, likening it to pornography. Once he tried to leave her counseling sessions, Steed said things got ugly.
She was just contacting, like, she didn't want me to leave her therapy group, and she had my wife send an email message to me of the terms so that the marriage wouldn't end, and it included that I had to go back to Jodi. I had to pay for, it was thousands of dollars a month.
So now if you've been following this, you'll know that was Adam Steed. He had a horrible experience with her, continues to do so. He seems to bring it right back again. But you hear this like, oh, when I wanted to get out of it and, you know, it was thousands of dollars a month. This is what I'm talking about. It's almost like, to me, when I listened to this, I was like, oh, here you go. Imagine you're going to see her for the first time. You're going in, you're telling out your problems. And then these are the type answers that she's coming back with, you know, of the, well, you're a poor child and you're this and I invite you to come to this. She is literally, it's like this grooming tactics, right? Of like breaking someone down and separating them from their money. And then obviously having control and power. I still have not moved away from it. This is just my opinion. It's not based in fact. I'm not trying to shame or anything. It's just something that it's like, I feel like it is what it is. I feel like there is something to be said for her trying to separate the men from the women. You know, I don't know if she falls in love with certain women and then she goes after them. I don't know what's up with it, right? But I just feel like there's something going on there in that way. It's very odd to me. But again, I don't know them personally, so I can't say that that's true or not. It's just, you know, a little sofa hunch or whatever. So again, listening to this, when we listened to it the other day in the chat and broke it down, again, I really felt like I was watching a scenario of this is what it was like for these people going in there, and she slowly worked you into this until she was getting you into these expensive classes. And then if you threaten to leave, which could also mean, because probably if you're at the point of being like something's not right, that could threaten her livelihood because you might go and tell somebody. And so then she has to go destroy you first, which is what she did with Adam. And finally, you know, years later, he's able to get, you know, have some redemption and clear his name. And it wasn't me the whole time, that type thing. But again, this whole masquerade of hiding behind the children, which is what I think she does, because we see how much she cares about children, right? Very little. But this whole thing of hiding behind children's welfare and, oh, your kids need this kind of parent and oh, this and that. I think it's a farce. I do not believe it. I think it is a literal grift. I think that from what I've seen, it's just there's whatever is broken inside of her, whatever's going on, she seems to want to take it out on others through this type thing of claiming to be this guru when clearly she's not. There's so much rage, it seems like, right beneath the surface and the tone of her voice. She seems truly like a scary human being. I cannot imagine being a child under her care and ticking her off. Lord only knows what happens. We've seen part of it, and it includes duct tape, right? And no food, and having to run from the house to get the police. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, let me know what you think down below. If you want me to do another podcast, I can listen to them. I'm sure we'll go over more in our little chats and whatnot because it was too fascinating. But let me know what you think of the podcast. Am I just making it up? I mean, did y'all hear the rage, the stuff in it? Let me know if you see a pattern, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I do appreciate it if you watch the whole video. And if you just clicked in and fast forward to the end, well, I appreciate you too. Now, Roscoe's gone over in the bed, but he does ask to drop some little sofas over there in the comment section for him. And until we meet on those sofas to talk about more of these podcasts and this hot mess, I'll see y'all there.